Wait.
How?
Wait. Did you start?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is how it all got started. During story time, we read the Artsy Fartsy book, and then we were reading whatever we wanted. And so I started reading this book, and then aloud to Helena, and then everyone kind of joined in. But then me, Helena, and Laura all got really interested in it. So we read the whole book on our own, and we were just like really into it. So that's why we decided that was our project.
If you didn't know already, Sacagawea was one of the people who guided Lewis and Clark all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Without her, we don't know what would be there.
Without her leadership?
You know, without her leadership. So she was a very important character. They went.
Back up a little bit and tell us about this expedition that you're talking about.
So-
Maybe everyone doesn't know.
Lewis and Clark were
You can use the map.
Lewis and Clark were two men who they were was it Lewis or it was Meriwether Lewis. Meriwether Lewis was asked by President Jefferson to gather up
Gather up some men to go on an expedition.
called the Corps of Discovery, and then he discovered. And so Lewis met Clark on their way to where they met Sacagawea. So they met Sacagawea at Fort Mandan, and
To get her.
Is
They
that
took-
on the map?
No, it's not on the map, but Fort Mandan was
named after a tribe.
Well,
of
you know
Indians
about where it
that
is.
lived
Could you
there.
show us?
Yeah. It's around on the other side of the Mississippi River.
Just past the Mississippi?
yeah, just past the Mississippi.
Leave it open.
And
Okay. So when Sacagawea was a child, she got captured by the military Indians, and so she was kind of a slave for them until she was bought by Charbo. Charbanu.
We call him Charbo. Charbonneau acted as her husband. He bought her, and
He was a French fur trader,
he already had one wife with a baby. Then he bought her.
and she was his wife, and you might have seen pictures of Sacagawea on the journey with a baby on her back, and that was the baby that she had with Charbonneau. And Charbonneau was a translator, and
So the baby's name was Plumpet, or
that was the nickname.
yes, I know, but we're gonna
Means
call him
little
Plumpet,
chief.
which
Little
means
chief.
little chief.
When they were talking to the Shoshone, which are the Indians that the Native Americans that Sacagawea comes from, or she was born in that tribe. When they were crossing their territory, Sacagawea found the trails that they needed to go on, and communicated with her family that she hadn't seen since she was 12. And it actually turned out that her brother, she didn't realize this at first, but her brother was actually the chief. So it was a very long translating process. It went from so it was English. So it was like native.
So first it was their native language, then it was passed on to her husband,
Who was
who
French.
translated it into French, and then the French was translated into English.
No, the Shoshone said to Sacagawea something. Sacagawea heard it, translated it into French, said it to Charbo, and Charbo said it in English to Lewis or Clark. So it's a very long translating process.
But without her, this translating process wouldn't have taken place.
Not to mention that, well, when they passed other Native American or Indian tribes, they would have normally seen the whole expedition as a threat. But since they saw a Native American woman with a baby, they knew that they were safe. They were peaceful. So just her presence made the journey a lot easier.
Without Sacagawea, this journey would have been much harder, and they probably wouldn't have been able to complete it.
She also gathered roots and berries when they ran out of supplies. She found roots and berries that near where her tribe lived.
She was able to find the correct paths.
And
Sacagawea was the main leader of the Lewis and Clark expedition, even if her name isn't in the title.
and
Yeah, so there's a legacy, huh? Yeah. Good. Got questions for her?
At the very beginning, you said you were doing a little bit of improv. I couldn't tell that you were doing improv. Looks like you wrote a script and memorized it.
oh no, we didn't have anything until like
2 seconds ago.
No, that's good though, because you've all read the material and you've all talked about it. And you're working under this leadership legacy theme, and it's fitting, isn't it? It's just coming, yeah.
While doing your project, are you gonna figure out who's gonna talk first? Because it kind of seems like you guys.
Oh no, we didn't figure out anything.
Oh, no, their final product isn't even, this is just their diving board project. They're diving deeper to find out how it fits this theme and where some of the real primary sources are. What's a primary source?
Like a newspaper letter, or an article, like from that time.
So their papers, Lewis and Clark's papers, Sacagawea papers, I wonder where they are.
In a book. In this book.
In a book?
Yeah.
Oh,
A lot of his journal entries are in this book. Let's see. Where? Like in this book. Here it is. The letter that he wrote to his mother.
So they have all kinds of great material.
Dear mother. Day after tomorrow. This was just basically saying that he was going off and that he would be okay reassuring his mother.
yes, but it shows you that he was a real guy who had a mom and he wrote a letter. That's a primary source, and it tells you more. If you spend a little time analyzing that letter, you might find out some more information. Yeah. See, I thought you need that. Now, they could have spent weeks turning this into a PowerPoint, couldn't they have? But did we get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good, very good.